Knowledge is an effect word. It's a word having to do with effects. When you say you know something, that's different than saying I believe something or I'm going to assume something. If you say those things, if you say, look, I'm going to assume that the sun will rise tomorrow, that's different than saying I know the sun will rise tomorrow or I believe the sun will rise tomorrow. Each one of those things has a different effect psychologically. You know, it's just like what I said about advertisers, how they use different words because they have different effects, even if the words can mean the same thing. If you were going to say, look, for the month of October, we're going to give you free internet service, an introductory free internet service, unlimited internet service for the month of October. Okay. And another company could say, for the month of October, we're going to give you 744 hours of internet service. And you may say, okay, now which one are you going to go with? Well, it's clear. You go with the one that has unlimited. If they're going to, both of them going to start you off with an introductory thing. One is giving you a limited amount of time, and the other one's giving you unlimited. But here's the reality, because I've actually did calculate this out. In a 31-day month, the number of hours there are in a 31-day month like October is 744. You can get your calculator out and calculate that. However, they don't sound the same. Unlimited sounds like a lot more than 744 for 1 month. But when you think about it, it is the same thing. It's just that when we use certain words, you know, if somebody asks you, and now you already know this, everybody knows this sort of thing right here. If I would ask you which one is heavier, but before I say it, I say, look, I'm going to give you 3 seconds to answer. Okay, to make it even more challenging, if you come up with the right answer, you get $1,000. So you got something that you could mess up on. So there's pressure, and there's a short period of time, and I'm going to ask you which one is heavier. 10 pounds of lead or 10 pounds of feathers. And you got 3 seconds to answer. 1, 2, 3. You're going to say 10 pounds of lead. Wrong answer. They're both the same, 10 pounds. But you know, if you had a short period of time, you're more likely to answer 10 pounds of lead. And why lead in particular? Because you just make a simple association. Heavy and light. Lead is heavy, feathers are light. And it's that. And you don't stop and think about all the other things that I added in there and put it all together in your mind. And weigh it and look at it. It takes, maybe it would take you 4 seconds to think about that instead of the 3 that I gave you. If you had more time, you might think about it and say, wait a minute, they're the same thing. There are many things that you have to take into consideration. Certain facts. It kind of reminds me of a joke that somebody told. You know, and jokes are perfect because you leave out facts. In a joke, that's when you come back to the punchline, that's what makes it funny. There were these 2 farmers and they hit some pigs. I guess they had won in some contest or something. Both of them hit, you know, together. And so they decided to split, you know, divide these 2 pigs. You know, one keeps one pig and one keeps the other. And one said, well, how are we going to know which pig is which as they get ready to go back home? You know, put the pigs in a pickup truck or however they haul the pigs away. So one farmer said, I tell you what, I'm going to take this pig right here and I'm going to cut off his ear. And that way you'll know, the one with one ear, that's your pig. Or that'll be my pig. I'll just cut off his one ear. So, okay. So the 2 pigs, they're together in the back of a pickup truck and they get into a fight. And the other pig bites the other pig's ear off. So both of them have one ear. So the guy says, oh my God. Now how are we going to tell the difference between the 2 pigs? And so the one guy says, well, I'm going to cut this pig's tail off. He cuts the pig's tail off. And then they drive a little while, and the pigs get into a fight again, and one of them bites the other one's tail off. So both of them don't have a tail. So he says, well, okay, now how are we going to tell the difference? So the farmer says, okay, I'm going to poke this one's eye out. I know it's terrible, but so one pig has one eye and the other one has 2. So man's the one with one eye. Then they get into a fight again, and of course another pig loses an eye, so they both have one eye. He said, so, oh man, now what we're going to do? And the guy said, well, I'll tell you what. You take the black one, I'll take the white one. You know, that's the story. Okay, here's the thing. Sometimes you have to look at things. When we're thinking about things, if we don't know all the facts and we don't have time to think about it, or we are not given all the facts, we really can't make an informed decision about things. You have to know everything before you can make a decision. And that's the way it is in life. I'm changing my infusion set, so you hear all these funny noises. But that's the thing. Knowledge is gathering of information. But when you're making a decision, you do trust feelings. You know, that's just reality. That's not even that's not even a point of argument. It just is the reality. You do go what feels better. Because sometimes you feel, if you don't, then, you don't want conflicts when you're making a decision. There's a name for it. They call it cognitive dissonance. And that's something that people might want to look up. Google that. That's when you make decisions or when you're faced with situations and you have these conflicts between different facts. And you have to find some way to work it out. Yeah, feelings get involved. Feelings. So when I talk about trusting the feelings, when something doesn't seem right, when there seem to be conflicts, you need to question it. I was watching a little documentary, part of a documentary, about the Heaven's Gate cult. And those people commit suicide. And there was one guy who didn't. He got out of the group before they did all that stuff. Because he had a feeling something wasn't right. Things just didn't seem right about what this guy was saying. Other people didn't do that. They didn't question it. They just went along with the program. But this one guy, he trusted what he felt. Something wasn't right. So he left. That's why I talk about trusting your feelings. It is important. It is important. And it's something that there's some science to back this up. And the thing about cognitive dissonance, that's something to look up. Google that. Interesting thought.